Hello and welcome to another Blood Bowl analysis video. This time we've got some Dark Elves that I'm using versus some Bretonnians. Yeah, relatively new teams. I've got a couple of blitzers with dodge, a couple of rookie blitzers, and a really cool witch elf with +1 movement and +1 agility, which is awesome. And the Bretonnians, similar TV, I've got a couple of blitzers with dodge, a blitzer with sure hands, a full suite of positionals, all 8 of them, and then he's got reserve as well. So yeah, we'll get started soon. As always, just before we do that, quick reminder to please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you end up enjoying this. And you can also check out my Patreon page linked below, which lists all of the various articles and videos and stuff that I do all in one place, so you can find them. Okay, let's get started. My opponent has won the toss and decided to receive. I've got a riot, which one for your turn, not a big deal. Okay, so I've set up this defense here in a line where everyone's visible, basically, apart from this witch elf I'm trying to protect. That's because my opponent's got no guard and it's all strength 3. So it means he's not going to be able to 2-dice anybody apart from the person on the end, which is a lineman who would have been exposed anyway. So this just means I'm more flexible with where I get to reposition in my next turn. And it also means that if he wants to blitz, he has to do so on the outside. He's just going to drag a couple of players out wide because he's going to probably want to remain central where the line of scrimmage was on his first turn. Which is just a very minor thing, but every little helps. Okay, so thankfully only 1 stun on that turn, nobody died. That's what you like to see with Dark Elves. And then finally, my opponent doing all that before the ball was fine because the ball's too far back for me to get to. So that's interesting because my opponent has moved his ball carrier forward this far, which means I've got a fairly good chance of tagging him. And so that's going to be the plan. I'm going to try and blitz this guy, move this dodge player, and tag the guy, and then mark everybody else up. I want to try and be aggressive in this game. I don't want to just let it slide. Bretonnians are quite flexible. They're reasonably fast as well. So you can't just let them do what they want to do. So that's the plan. I'm going to go everybody in contact, stop him repositioning his players, and then tag the ball carrier. Another reason for that is I've got 3 of these linemen in contact, and committing to 3 dodges on turn 1 is it's quite passive. It's quite resource intensive. If I want to end up using a reroll, so just get stuck in, make him make decisions. I think, as always, you're doing something, do it with everybody. If the switch elf's in contact, but not with anybody with blocks, so she's effectively got dodge. So even though she's valuable, that's reasonable protection or compromise. And this is where Fen proves to be amazing. I couldn't follow up there, which meant I had a 2-up dodge, which I then 1 reroll 1, so I don't get to mark the guy. So, plan slightly foils, but it's fine. It's the first turn of the drive. We've got lots of time to keep doing that. Lucky enough, my opponent double skulls and uses a reroll first action, which makes his turn slightly tricky. Unfortunately, he gets the power on the witch elf, but she's fine, so that's okay. I'll take it. The double 1 has meant we're giving away quite a few 2-dice blocks without actually having gained the value of putting the pressure on the ball carrier. He would have needed to have used his blitz over here to get rid of the tagger, but that's fine. Lucky enough, nobody dies this turn, so you can try something again next turn without having being super ultra punished. Okay. So my opponent's concentrating quite hard on getting two dice blocks in. It slightly exposes ball carrier here. The ball carrier is not in a cage at all. So I could potentially blitz the ball carrier here. If I could block this guy, create a gap here, dodge a few people through on a 2-up. But I think it's probably alright just to mark him this turn. I want to just get this blitzer back in the game after the last turn, still on, and then just consolidate whilst also marking the ball carrier. And that's a good turn, I think. Mark everyone else so they can't reposition and try and help the ball carrier, then mark the ball carrier as well. So yeah, we're just going to go in, put a lot of pressure on, do what we can. I think this is probably a positional mistake, moving this guy over here. It leaves a little bit of a gap on this side. There's an easy 2-dice block here, freeing up lots of people. So maybe that's one too many players on this side and it should be on here. As always, just move my guys where I want them before I make my dice rolls. Yeah, and then we're doing a little blitz with this guy on the floor, a little cheeky 1 dice, which opens up a 2 dice on the peasant, and gets this blodge guy back in the game. And finally, we'll make a 2-up dodge, and then tag the ball carrier. He's going here rather than here because there's a guy on the floor there that can just stand up and blitz him. So I want to drag an extra player across. Yeah, as I said, 2 dice block, easy there. But then this guy's moving backwards, and that's the value of marking up the ball carrier here. It's like my opponent's moving backwards rather than forwards to try and mitigate against this. Obviously, doesn't want to dodge with the ball carrier. The ball carrier isn't one of the dodge guys. So he's have to use his blitz action instead to reposition. And our high contact strategy is paying off here because my opponent's getting a little bit bogged down. He's not really going anywhere. Every block action you take with a player is a player that isn't moving more than the 1 square that they're following up. Which means, you know, if you can stop your opponent moving, then they're never going to get to the end zone. And you can also try and force pressure on and try and make him have a perfect turn every single turn. So we're just going to keep doing that, just putting some pressure on, mark everyone up, stopping and making any movement forward. Yeah, so just block there to free up these guys, get them involved. This is one of the weaknesses of Bretonnians, is that, and just human teams in general, agility 3 teams, they're quite vulnerable to getting bogged down. They're not really hugely tough, so they can't smash their way out of trouble. And then if you keep pressuring them, they're going to have to start making dodge rolls or 1 dice blocks every turn. So yeah, just continue our little plan of marking one up, marking this guy up on the floor, leave him there, he's marked, one-on-one marking these guys, and then going to do a blitz with my blodge blitzer here, just to get him back involved. Pressure in the cage. Blodges next to the cage is great, makes it really difficult for my opponent to get rid of them. And now this is a lot of really good pressure now. We've developed over several turns. You're not going to get this kind of pressure just straight away unless you like massively outstrength your opponent. So just try to develop it over a series of turns, and we've now got the point where my opponent's cage is in a lot of trouble. It's really bogged down. Its chances of maintaining a coherent cage here is quite limited. And that's how it's turned out. And this is again the value of the blodger obviously set into the cage. He's had to take a block here to try and maintain some sort of coherency to his cage, which hasn't worked. So next turn we're going to get a 2 dice block on him and then be able to walk in, hit the ball carrier. Okay. Did power that bludger though. Oh, that's done. But otherwise, been pretty lucky with armor rolls, so that's fine. As you can see, we've over the 3 turns of pressure, we've managed to work ourselves 2 dice on the ball. So I can get somebody around the back here, and then the Witch Elf can come in here and actually get 4 dice on the ball, which is great. So just move him here to mark this guy. So this guy has got 2 dice on the ball here. He's a bludger, the knight, so that's fine. Push is fine. Now we need a 2-up dodge with dodge and a go for it to get my dodge blitzer back here. And I'm going to blitz with the Witch Elf, which is always great. You get 2 extra dice with Frenzy, and also, even better than that, you hopefully, if you can, push the ball out of the cage, so that when it bounces, it doesn't end up next to all of his players. Okay, so great, get the POW, that's awesome, and get the KO as well, which is superb. Unfortunately, the ball lands on this lineman who's already moved, so my opponent's going to have a really good chance of just blocking him and getting the ball back on the floor next turn. So we're just going to have to play for that. We're going to play for picking the ball up next turn, or even blitzing a ball carrier again next turn. So a normal player wouldn't do this, but this is agility 5 Witch Elf, so I can do a 2-up dodge there and a 2-up dodge there, and then mark this blocker who would otherwise be a threat to come around and assist or block the ball carrier. Marking him as well. Possibly a mistake there. Possibly should have just not blocked this guy, because previously where he was, he needed a 3-up dodge to come around and assist against the ball carrier. As it is now, he just needs a 3-up dodge. So even though I've knocked him down and he's on the floor, it's probably a case of being over block happy. Should have just left him where he is, maybe. Now, finally, we really need to mark this guy because he's a really easy person to come in and assist against the ball carrier. So we will invest a reroll on that. And now my opponent is in a bit of a pickle. So even though he's got a fair chance of blocking the ball and knocking it down again, the important part, recovering the ball and collecting it with somebody and getting in a cage, is going to be really quite difficult. Yeah, so as I said, this guy came around and did his 3-up dodge, and that gives 2 block here. Yeah, gets it down. To be expected. Oh, that's a great bounce for me. Very happy with that. Unfortunately, my opponent gets the pickup and also a POW on this lineman. He does use his last reroll. And 1 less block, so that's good. So that's gone about as well as it possibly could for my opponent, if I'm honest. Again, powering this Witch Elf as well, who's also a big threat because the ball carrier is next to the sideline. So yeah, pretty unlucky. A combination of the ball landing on a player who'd already moved and then my opponent having a great turn of the dice, but I still got a really good chance of blitzing the guy with the crowd, which I think I'm going to go for. Solely because of agility 5, I can just dodge all the way through here, jump up as well, and just hit that guy. So that is what I'm going to go for. Before I do that, I'm just going to move a few players back round, just in case something fails. I don't want to just get all in on that with people on the floor. So we'll just cover the failure in case that doesn't work. Okay, and then it's going to require a couple of cheeky 2-ups, which luckily work. And then my Witch Elf can just do her stupid crazy stuff. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 2-up dodges and a couple of go for it. This is a reasonably risky play, or medium risk, but the reward of surfing the ball carrier, who is also a bludger, is just too great to pass up. And then great throw in, ridiculously good throw in. Can't leave the witch off next to the sideline, so I have to do that go for it. Fortunately, that used a reroll, but otherwise, a great turn. And then we'll just run this guy forward, try and pick the ball. And I'm much better off. I could do two go for it to score, but I think I'm much happier just staying there. I've got another 2 turns after this, so I've got plenty of people who can get forward and score. And if he runs all his players back here to block him, blitz him, he's not going to be scoring. And then the actions over here, this is one of the great things about Dark Elves, is that when something like this happens, this slimeman can just move all the way forward on an easy 2-up dodge. And it's much closer to what's important. That was pretty fortunate. Because he wants to free up this guy to blitz the ball carrier, and he needed a pure power to not completely foul up his plans there. But that's fine. It worked out in the end. Couple of go for it. And another couple. And managed to get the ball down. That's fine. We should hopefully be able to recover it. I think with the reroll used, he probably should have just reroll used. He hasn't decided to go for the ball there. I think he had the movement left. I think I probably would have done that, because otherwise I've got a really good chance of just getting the ball back next turn. I think a 2-up, 3-up. Okay, lineman, that's fine. Yeah, that was a little bit greedy. You probably should have got this guy back in here, where the action is, rather than just trying to go for a 1 dice power to hurt this witch off. Okay, so I've got 2 turns to score. My opponent's got 1 turn after this to score, and he only has 1 player in scoring range. So the plan here is going to be hit that guy who can score, and then put myself in a position where I can score either this turn or next turn. So the first priority is stopping him scoring, and that gives me 2 shots at trying to turn the ball over to score after that, both the remainder of this turn and in my next turn. So first things first, we'll do that bit. Only needing a push. Luckily get the power, so that's great. My opponent can now not score, so I can just go all in, rush forward, try and get the ball. So I'm just going to move all my players forward to try and recover it in turn 8 if this fails. But at the moment I've got 2 mirror on the bank and a 2-up dodge, a 3-up pick on a 2-up dodge to score. I think that's fairly good odds, so we'll go for that as the first option. Just protecting the witch off here. And might as well take a cheeky 2-dice dodge, 2-dice block. At this point, I'm just not giving blocks away because I think I should be alright. Otherwise, yeah, we got our 3 and our 2 2s, and we score, which is great. Okay, and we'll just skip forward here. This is what the second half ended up looking like. Not so interesting to go through. Just managed to break through the lines and stall out a bit in the corner here for a while, and then put the ball in for a touchdown when I ran out of players. And then that left my opponent for 2 turns to score, which he ended up doing with like a 3% dodge through the line on a 5+ thing, so it was fine. Really don't mind that when it's not going to affect the result. So yeah, finished 2-1 to the Dark Elves in the end. Pretty good result, so happy with that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, again, please like it. That's very useful, and hopefully see you all again next time.